What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys a very hot, exciting video. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Last year on my channel, I made a video where I reacted to my subscribers' hot takes / unpopular movie opinions. That video did extremely well. I loved reacting to your guys' hot takes. And a lot of people wanted to know what my hot takes or unpopular movie opinions were, even though if you are subscribed to my channel and watch it a lot, then you know what a lot of them are. But I'm excited to share with you guys my top 10 unpopular movie opinions. Be sure to let me know your unpopular movie opinions down below in the comments section. Make it the hottest take I have ever seen to date. If I see like a lot of generic, cold takes or cliche takes, that gets kind of boring, I love to see like a take I'm not expecting coming. So I want to see some really hot takes in the comment section down below. I cannot stress this enough, guys. This is all subjective. These are hot takes. These are not cold takes. These aren't popular opinions. These are unpopular opinions. If you see an opinion on here that I say that really pisses you off or gets you to overreact, please, it's just a video. It's just my opinion. I would love to see your list down below in the comments and let me know if you disagree with me, but in a respectful way. This is all for fun, guys, all for laughs. Coming in at number 10, we're kicking it right off the bat with an extremely hot take right here. Get ready, guys. It's coming. That is WALL-E and Ratatouille being Pixar's two most overrated films. Now, I totally 100% get the praises for both of these movies, but for me personally, I think they're way too highly praised and high up there on people's lists. Like, I usually see Ratatouille in the top 5 of everyone's Pixar list, and WALL-E as well. Some people do have it in the top 3. But for me personally, they're on the 15 range of my Pixar ranking. I think Ratatouille's a really good movie, but I just find it overrated when people, praise it's Pixar's most underrated movie. I do really like Remy as a character. I think his passion for cooking is really motivational, and he as a character is very likable, but the family aspects I just don't dive into a lot, and a lot of the cooking scenes are great. We just didn't get enough of them. WALL-E, on the other hand, I think is Pixar's most overrated film. A lot of people say it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think they used a lot of the fat people plotline for jokes and humor, and that storyline just kind of aggravated me. And the twist just came absolutely out of the water, and I just didn't like the twist. But WALL-E is really emotional. I really like the relationship between WALL-E and Eve. Just a lot of people have both of these movies high up on their Pixar list. It's not for me. Coming in number 9 is I think Boyhood is one of the most boring films I've seen to date. Now, this movie was a highly praised film from critics. It had close to 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It got so many Oscar noms. Richard Linklater, Best Picture, saying this is Richard Linklater's masterpiece. This is one of the greatest films ever made. First of all, I think this movie is absurdly way too long, almost 3 hours long. We just see a young boy throughout the 12-year filmmaking period, which I think is a respectable achievement for this film, being able to make this movie within a 12-year filming period. We just see this young boy grow up, and it's a lot of slow-paced scenes and slow-paced acting. Ethan Hawke is really good in the movie, Patricia Arquette as well, and the main kid I just didn't really resonate with. I get it, it's a really cool concept to see this young boy grow up into a young man going to college, but it just wasn't for me. I respect the movie for the craftsmanship, Richard Linklater's direction, and the 12-year filmmaking period, but if you take that gimmick out, then I think Boyhood would be very forgettable. Coming in number 8, we're going to dive into the Star Wars franchise. I think Rey is the biggest Mary Sue I've seen in cinema over the last 10 years. I want to get this out of the way. I'm not a Rey hater at all. I used to really love Rey. I think Daisy Ridley does a fantastic job acting-wise as the character. I love her introduction on Jakku, but as soon as she meets Finn, I really like the introduction of them being friends, but as soon as she flies the Millennium Falcon, that's where I questioned her character. How does she know how to fly the Millennium Falcon so well and not really damage the ship on first attempt? Then she's able to do a Jedi mind trick on a stormtrooper without any training, and she beats Kylo Ren in a lightsaber duel without any training. They really did not dive into Rey really well throughout all three of these films. She had no training really. She meets Luke in Last Jedi and really only trains with him for like, what, 2 days? And then in Rise of Skywalker, she's just like a god. And then, spoilers, you make her Palpatine's granddaughter. That's the explanation. She's so powerful and perfect at everything. I do think Rey has a lot of cool moments. And Daisy really, once again, is fantastic acting-wise. But the character was poorly written since the start. Again, this whole sequel trilogy was poorly planned out. Number 7, I think Man of Steel is the best Superman movie ever. Now that is a hot take right there, because usually people say Richard Donner's original Superman film from 1978 is the best Superman movie, or even Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. But I think Man of Steel is the best Superman movie. And Henry Cavill might be my favorite Superman. I loved him in Man of Steel. I love the different route they took with the character of Superman, because it made him feel like an actual human being, and him having personal challenges and consequences whenever he does something completely destructive. I love the action scenes in Man of Steel, especially the final battle with General Zod, which is awesome. It's got the most epic score to date from Hans Zimmer, and I love both Superman themes, but I might like Hans Zimmer's just slightly more. I know that's also kind of a hot take. I just love Man of Steel. The more I rewatch this movie, the more it bumps up in my favorite superhero films of all time. Number 6, I think Iron Man 3 is the most underappreciated MCU film. Now, same as Man of Steel with Iron Man 3. The more I rewatch Iron Man 3, the more I love it. And I think it's very underappreciated. A lot of people crap on Iron Man 3 because of the Mandarin twist and Tony Stark really being Tony Stark the whole movie, not enough Iron Man. I respect that about Iron Man 3. Tony Stark goes through a lot. He loses a lot of his suits. His house gets exploded by the Mandarin. He was kind of stupid for that, but I think it's the journey with Tony Stark that I just loved in Iron Man 3. Ty Simpkins' chemistry with RDJ is really great in here. It's a Shane Black movie. There's a lot of great Christmas vibes in here. You know, the final battle with all of Iron Man's bots versus Aldrich Killian. I will still stand by Aldrich Killian being one of the worst MCU villains, but I think Iron Man and Tony Stark combined together in Iron Man 3 just resonated with me. The Mandarin twist, whatever. But I just love Iron Man 3 more. It's bumped up on my MCU ranking. Now we're getting into the top 5. At number 5, I'm not the biggest fan of Guillermo Del Toro's films. Now, Guillermo Del Toro is one of the most loved directors in Hollywood today. He's made a lot of films that people love in the romance/monster film category, with The Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, the 2 Hellboy movies, Krampus. I really respect Guillermo Del Toro as a director. I think he has a lot of great visuals in his films and practical effects. But for me, when it comes to his films like Pan's Labyrinth and The Shape of Water, these romance monster films or fantasy movies, I'm just not into that genre like a lot of people are. There's a lot of Del Toro diehard fans. The Shape of Water wouldn't be my choice for Best Picture for sure. I would have given it to a film that wasn't nominated, Logan or Blade Runner 2049. It's beautifully visually and it's got a great score, but The Shape of Water just wasn't for me. Pan's Labyrinth is probably what everyone says is the best Del Toro film. I wouldn't go that far, but I do respect Pan's Labyrinth. It's got great visuals, great monster creatures. But again, it just wasn't for me. I don't love the, gothic monster storylines going on here. Honestly, I would prefer his 2 Hellboy movies. I think those movies are incredibly underrated. Number 4, Star Wars The Last Jedi is in my top 5 Star Wars movies. Now, on my last Star Wars ranking, I did put Last Jedi at number 6 and Return of the Jedi at number 5. Now I switched it up. I did put Last Jedi at number 5 over Return of the Jedi. I do really like The Last Jedi. I know a lot of people are very divisive on The Last Jedi. There's sides everywhere. On the positive side, everyone's like, best Star Wars movie of all time. Everybody's hating on this movie and I don't like it. And then you have people on the negative side saying, This ruined Star Wars. Worst Star Wars movie of all time. Ruined my childhood. Then you have people in the middle like, it's fine. I really respect Rian Johnson's filmmaking when it comes to his vision of Star Wars. It's very different compared to others, but I do really respect Luke in the film. I get it. He's not Luke Skywalker. He's just this loner on an island. Then he comes across Rey, and he just isn't the same Luke. And he's kind of honest. You know, he believes the Jedi Force has gone to dark routes, and so why bother training more Jedi? I think that's a bold new direction. And with Snoke, I was kind of aggravated, but at the same time, Snoke really wasn't the purpose of the sequel trilogy. It really was Kylo, so I respect Rian Johnson for making that change. Again, I completely get all three sides. I get it if you absolutely hate this movie and it ruined your childhood. I get if you think it's okay, don't love it. And I get if you love the film. I get all three sides. But for me, I just really respect The Last Jedi. I do really like it a lot. Coming in number 3 is, I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is not a masterpiece and think it's very overrated. Now, if you saw my review for this movie last year during the pandemic, I watched this because it was brought up in the Fallen for Film podcast. I do respect the film. I think Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet give very good performances in the film. I think some of the aspects are really well done. Some of the romance is kind of for me. And Charlie Kaufman, his screenplay is really interesting a lot of times. But for me, I think the film is very unnecessarily confusing on the average viewer like me. If I'm not really into the romance genre, who knows, maybe in a few years I'll completely love the film, turn me around. But at this time, I think Eternal Sunshine is one of the more overrated movies for me. I respect your opinion if you love the movie. Number 2, I think Dunkirk is one of the more overrated movies this past decade. I think it's Christopher Nolan's most overrated movie. And another hot take, I prefer Tenet over Dunkirk. Now, I got so much hate when I posted my review for this movie. I know a lot of Nolan fans came at me, and they didn't watch my review. You didn't watch the reasons why I said I didn't love it. And actually, a lot of people are coming around saying they don't love Dunkirk, which is cool to see. But I just think Dunkirk has great technical values. It's great direction-wise, some of the best practical effects I've seen in Nolan films. The visuals, those are the best part of Dunkirk and deserved a lot of those tech Oscars. I respect bold original takes on genres, and for this film, it was spinning the war genre. It wasn't focusing on the characters or the war genres we've seen before. It's focused on the event of the evacuation of Dunkirk. That's what people say to me whenever I say I didn't love the movie. I know what the movie was going for. I know what Nolan was going for. But for me, I'm not just into that filmmaking aspect. And the characters in this movie, I get it. They weren't focusing on the characters, but they just really bored me. I love a war film where I can see a character and just understand why they're doing what they're doing. Like with 1917 and Hacksaw Ridge, I really resonated with those characters because I understood their motivations, what they were doing, and they just resonated with me. And with all of these soldiers in Dunkirk, I don't know what their storylines are, what their motivations are. I just follow them trying to survive, and I didn't really care if either one of them died. And that's kind of disappointing. And with a Nolan movie, I get it, he goes for different takes, but with Dunkirk, it just really bored me most of the time. I respected it more each time I watch it, but it's just not top tier Nolan for me. But coming in at number 1 for me is, I think Birdman is the most overrated film this past decade and should not have won Best Picture in 2014. Now, if you follow me on my channel, you know this is my biggest hot take to date. Birdman, which won Best Picture in 2014, directed by Alejandro Iñárritu, and I watched the movie. I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it at home with my family, and I didn't get the hype. The movie Birdman explores a lot about the film industry and Michael Keaton's character, a former Broadway star, and him dealing with the media and different characters, and it's a one-take movie. And I respect that. It is a one-take movie. I respect that gimmick, just like 1917. But a lot of people saying this is one of the best films this past decade, one of the greatest films of all time, 10 out of 10, masterpiece. I wouldn't go that far. I think this movie is Again, I respect the craftsmanship of Birdman. Michael Keaton gives one of his best performances, possibly his best acted performance. Edward Norton's fine. Emma Stone's fine, but I just didn't buy the hype both times I watched it. I respect it. I just don't love Birdman. There you have it, guys. Those were my top 10 hot takes / unpopular movie opinions. Let me know down below in the comments if you agreed with most of these or disagreed with all of them. Let me know your thoughts on my list and give me your list. I'll respond to your list as well. Thank you guys as always for watching this top 10 video. If you guys liked the video, please hit that like button and be sure to click that subscribe button for more content in the future. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.